Hello. Okay, let's talk quartiles and box plots. So box plots, I'm sure you learned about a long time ago, but here's a nice little visual that kind of summarizes everything that we can see on a box and whisker plot. So this lefternmost whisker here is going to show us the minimum data set. This end of the box to the left is going to show us Q1. This piece in the middle here, this line in the center of the box, will be the median. This upper bound, or to the right end of the box, is going to be the Q3, and then the rightmost end of the whisker is going to be our maximum data point. The box is going to span the middle 50% of the data. That will be the interquartile range, and each one of these whiskers contains 25% of the data. All right, so whenever someone asks you for the range, we can do the max minus the min. That can be found as information on the box plot. We can figure out our quartiles from the box plot. Our IQR can be found on the box plot. We would do Q3 minus Q1. It's basically the range of the middle half of your data. And then for outliers, we can use the information on the box plot to figure out whether some data value is an outlier or not. We would find the lower fence of the outliers. That would be Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR. Or we could find the upper cutoff for an outlier, and that would be Q3 plus 1.5 times the IQR. If a question ever asks you for the 5-number summary, you would give the minimum, Q1, the median, which is Q2, or can also be thought of as Q2, Q3, and the maximum. If you'll notice, these all come right from one var stats. You never have to calculate this stuff by hand. We just type it in, get what the calculator gives us, and then we do it whatever the question is asking us to do. So when we are asked to describe a distribution, we use SOX. And you can remember SOX stands for shape, outliers, center, and spread. Center is going to be your mean, median, mode. Spread is going to be your standard deviation. You can use a box plot to visually describe range. Your outliers, you're going to use Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR. Or for your upper fence, you would do Q3 plus 1.5 times the IQR. And then your shape. Did you graph the data and it ended up being normal? Did you graph the data and it ended up being skewed? Something like that. That's what we mean by the shape of the data. Okay, so this is just a reference for you on page 69, but I'm going to go through it, walk you through it in examples 8 and 9, so you can just kind of keep this guy as reference. It's easier if I just show you on the calculator how to do it. So let's go to example number 8. It says, using your GDC, find the median and upper and lower quartiles for this data set. So they're asking you to find the median, Q1, and Q3. We are not going to do this by hand. We are going to add a list in spreadsheet, type in all these data points into an X column, and pause the video and meet me back here once you're at this step. Hello, welcome back. Okay, so I'm going to add a calculator page. We're going to find Q1, median, and Q3 using one var stats. So I'm going to do menu 611. Hit OK. My X list is just whatever I put in for X. And then here we go. I've got my Q1, and he's going to be 45. I've got my median, and he's going to be 47. I've got my Q3, and he's going to be 51.5. I want to show this data on a box plot. So in order to draw a box plot, you need to first have a number line, so that way you can make sure that the data is actually being represented in the correct proportions. So I'm going to try to think about what is the minimum here. The min is 37. And then the max is 54. So my box plot has to span all the way from 37 to 64. Or 54, sorry. So I think I'm going to start at maybe 35 and count up to 56 or so. Yeah. Then I can have a little bit of an idea of where we start, where we go. All right. So walk with me while I draw 4,000 data marks. Okay. So I got 34. All right. 35. 37. We can do some deep breathing while we do this. Okay, that looks good. All right, so I've got my max is going to be 54. Got my min is going to be 37. The first Q1 start of the box is going to be 45. The median is 47. And then my Q3 is 51.5. So it's going to look like that. Okay, then I got my little whiskers. Looks good. Okay. Now I'm going to determine whether 37 is an outlier. So 37 is going to be this data point over here. So that means I'm going to be using the lower bound criteria for an outlier. And that's going to be Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR. Look at these inputs I need here. I need a Q1. Q1 is 45. And then I need 1.5 times the IQR. Let's figure out what the IQR is. So my IQR is going to be Q3, which is 51.5, minus Q1, which is 45. So my IQR is going to be 6.5. So I'm going to type that in. I'm going to do 45 minus, and then I've got 1.5 times 6.5. And I got 35.25. Okay, so anything less than or equal to 32.25 is an outlier. Anything less than or equal to 32.25 is an outlier. So let's consider the data point in question. We want to determine whether 37 is an outlier. 37 is not an outlier because it is not less than or equal to 32.25. So we would say 37 is not an outlier. Yes, I know. I apologize. I'm in study hall and people just can't seem to just keep it quiet for just a few minutes. So if you hear any noise in the back, just ignore it. Okay, so I've got example question number 9. A health inspector analyzed the amount of sugar in 500 different snacks prepared in various school cafeterias. The collected data are shown in the following box and whisker diagram. Okay, so we are looking at the amount of sugar per snack in grams, and then they tested, I guess, 500 different snacks. So we're going to state what 13 represents in the given diagram. So just look at the box plot. 13 is right on that middle line in the center of the box, so he's going to be my median. Write down the IQR, or the interquartile range, for this data. That's going to be Q3 minus Q1. Q3 is going to be the end of the box up here. Q1 is going to be the bottom of the box over here. So I'm going to end up with an IQR of 6. IQR is 6. Now it says write down the approximate number of snacks whose amount of sugar ranges from 18 to 20 grams. Okay, so 18 to 20, that is represented by this little piece up here, right? I have this upper whisker. So that upper whisker is going to represent 25% of the data. It's between Q3 and the max, okay? So I would say that about 25% of the data lies in Q3 to Q4. So if I know that 25% of the data is going to be between 18 and 20, there were a total of 500 snacks that were tested. I'm going to do 500 times 0.25, and I'm going to get 125 snacks. Okay, thank you.